Hello class. Today we're going to talk about solving and graphing and reading and writing what we call inequality statements. Okay. So today we're going to learn to read and write inequalities and graph them on a number line. So that'll be the first part of this lesson. This lesson is going to be divided up into two, maybe three videos. Okay, so the first part we're going to learn is just learning how to read and write and graph them. So we've got a few vocabulary words today. Inequality, algebraic inequality, a solution set, and possibly a compound inequality. We may not get to that part. First thing we need to know is what is an inequality. An inequality states that two quantities either are not equal or may not be equal. Okay? An inequality uses one of the following symbols. And these in elementary school, we typically called them the alligators or the Pac-Man, things like that. And we knew the alligator always ate the bigger number. So when we look at this symbol right here, it means is less than. Okay? Some words that can represent less than are fewer than, below, those kinds of things, or even just less than. Okay? The next one is the greater than symbol. Some words that represent greater than would be more than, above, or greater than. Okay? Okay, the next one is less than or equal to. That means it can, either condition can make it true. Okay, it can be less than or it can be equal to the number that's there. Some words that reference that are at most, no more than, those kinds of things. And then the last one is greater than or equal to. And some words that represent it are at least or no less than. So those are words that, or cue words that kind of tell us what kind of a symbol that we're going to use. So the first thing I want us to practice is if we were to read these, read some statements, could we write a mathematical inequality statement to represent it? So here's some examples. It says write an inequality for each situation. So this first one says there are at least 15 people in the waiting room. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to write two things. We want to write a variable and we want to write the number down that we're looking at. Now, are there some key words here? Yes, it says at least 15. So if we go back to our word phrase bank here and we look for at least means greater than or equal to. Okay, so that means that it's going to be greater than or equal to. So it says there are at least 15 people in the waiting room. So that means 15 is our small number. It's the small number in there. So 15 is the low number. So there's probably more than 15 in there when we look at this particular waiting room. B, a tram attendant will allow no more than 60 people on the tram. So again, the first thing we do is we write our variable, we write our number, and now we try to put in our sign. It says, so what are the key words in this one? It says no more than. Okay, so that means that 60 is going to be the top number. But would 60 work? Yes, it would. Okay, so this number right here, this x, can't be any larger than 60, but it could be equal to 60. So we put is less than or equal to 60. Now let's look at two more real fast, and then we're going to do a problem set. It says write an inequality for each situation. There are at most 10 gallons of gas in the tank. So again, variable, number, okay, keywords, at most 10 gallons. So that means our top number is 10, at most 10 gallons. So we can't have more than 10. So this would be is less than or equal to. Okay, and again, if we were to go back to our phrases, at most means less than or equal to. Okay, B, there is at least 10 yards of fabric. So X and 10 again, and it says at least 10. So 10 is our small number. Okay, so that means this X could actually be bigger than 10, but it could also be equal to 10. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do, I want you to try some of these on your own. So pause the video and translate each one of these statements for me into an inequality statement. Okay, let's see how you did. Number one, you need to score at least 30 points to take the lead. So again, X 30, and it says at least 30. So that means we've got to score more than that. Okay, so that's going to be greater than or equal to. At least is an equal to part. There are less than 12 hours of daylight each day in winter. So again, X 12, and it says are less than. Okay, so that one is pretty simple. So we just put in a less than symbol. Number three, the bus seats at most 60 people. So X 60, and you can choose any letter that you want to. I'm just using X in all of them. So it seats at most 60 people. So at most is going to be our key word. At most means we can't have more than that. We can have 60, but we can't have any more than that. So that means less than or equal to. The coupon is good for any item that costs less than $10. So X, 10. Any item that costs less than, so this one's a pretty simple one. So we just put in the less than symbol. A score of at least 92 on the test is considered an A. So X, 92. At least 92, there's our key. That means that 92 or higher will actually be an A. The baby weighed more than 7 pounds at birth. Okay, so X, 7, more than 7 pounds. So that means 7's not included. Okay, so this one's just going to be a greater than symbol. Victor drives less than 12,000 miles per year. So X, 12,000. Okay, less than. Okay, so X is less than 12,000. So it's not equal to 12,000, so it's just a less than. Your waiting time will be 18 minutes or less. So X, 18. Okay, so will be 18 minutes or less. So it can be 18, but it can be less than that. Okay, so it's less than or equal to. And at least 15 students must sign up for the school trip. So X, at least 15, so we got 15. So at least 15 students, so 15 could be included, but it's going to be our small number. It's going to be the bottom number, so X needs to be greater than or equal to. And that's how you interpret inequality statements.